so that we can start. Okay, good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining today's meeting early. We'll go ahead now and start. The call is being recorded so that those who miss certain parts will be able to tune in with us. Just give me a sec to share my screen. Okay. Okay. Um, so yeah, so we had not met, I think, in like a month plus. There's been so much happening though, so I think today's meeting is quite important so that we can basically talk about what has happened and some of the plans for August as well. So I just prepared this short deck to sort of help us get into that. Um, yeah, for those who are in River State, I know that during our last meeting in June, I had mentioned this building, and I mentioned that this building is I think it's a metaphor for the state of our states, basically. It's now more than 12 months since that building was complete, and people have given different reasons as to why it's empty, right? But I think, if you look closely at GDP and look at economic performance and look at how businesses are coping within the states, I think the fact that this place remains empty, whether or not they're charging in dollars or they're charging in naira, the fact that we don't have a business currently in River State that is big enough to expand to like a building like this, for me, I think it's always a sign, right? It's a sign that there's a bit of challenge with our economy. And there's so much going on that I think we need to definitely fix, and that's for me, it's a reflection point for me all of the time I pass there, you know. Something needs to happen. And I think, that's part of why we're doing what we're doing with the Reverse 2050 project. One of the biggest things on the let's say political calendar at the moment, and if you Google River State, the major thing you see now will be around the LGA election, or what some people are calling a selection process, that's going to hold on August 30. Yeah, I mean, things are far from ideal in our state at the moment, right? I think that it's a sad place that we're in. I don't think elections should be run like the way it's been done, especially local elections. But I think that it's notwithstanding, it's still a chance for us to be able to engage the process. So I understand that there are people who are in the task force who are members of like political parties and stuff within the states. My reflection and my charge to you is to ensure that you're engaging the process correctly, you know, um, making sure that as part of the conversations, development and foresight, planning for the future, part of whoever emerges at the council level and the local government level, whether they're elected or selected. I think that we should ensure that we dominate the conversation. Conversation now is very skewed towards like, godfatherism and stuff. So I think we should find ways to ensure that we put on the agenda that it needs to be about the people, it needs to be about development. And that's been the core message of what we've been doing, with the Reverse 2050 project. So yeah, so that's my charge to you guys. I mean, for those who are in the political space, who have any opportunities, whether it's going to be a councillor or you have someone who's going to be or be a chairman. I think that I think irrespective of how the person gets in there, hopefully we can fix that soon. I think we need to find ways to engage these sort of people to put development on their agenda. So that's my gentle charge to you guys. I'm not sure if Lucky has joined yet. He's promised to join at some point. So when he does, we'll come back to Benway we want. But he's supposed to speak to us briefly about the citizen manifesto that they did for Benue State. and some of the lessons that they've learned and some of the things they're struggling with as well. So like just to give us insights into what we're building. He'll be asking questions as well, like some ideas. So when that time comes, feel free to engage with the conversation. So we'll come back to that. But just a quick recap of what's happened between June and July. Um, as we hadn't met. So in June, between June and July, the project had continued to go on, as you know. For those who are in the respective subcommittees, and I'll talk about that shortly towards the end. So when it comes to like how we have designed this project, we had set out a 5-step process. I'm sure you guys who have been in the thing have heard this over and over again. That goes across task force formation, statewide survey, focus group discussions, book writing, and launch and advocacy. We had completely finished task force formation, even though we continue to still allow people join the task force. We basically, have been able to reach the quota that we planned as an organization as policy shapers to be able to reach. So that's been done. With the statewide survey, we had launched the survey a couple of months ago. I think most of what is keeping us from having like a lot of like on ground engagement at the moment is mostly around finance, and we've put in applications for a couple of grants to be able to do some grassroots surveying, because we feel like that's where a lot of population is, across the LGAs. So we're pushing that, but notwithstanding, we've been able to get 200 plus people fill the survey online. I think that there's still room for a lot more, a whole lot more. I think we should be getting at least 1,000 plus, 2,000 plus from the digital space. I know that conversations now are not, people are basically not focused on, if I could say reverse, people are not focused on serious stuff. So we need to find a way to get them to become serious and focus on serious stuff and conversations like this. So yeah, so we've been using all of as you get to see the events and some of the things, engagements we've been having, to use those spaces to push for the survey to be filled. But this wouldn't work if we don't do it individually. I think what the Reverse 2050 account will do is limited compared to what like each and every one of us would do across our own networks. So whether it's sending broadcast messages or stuff, just to encourage us to find ways to leverage, our social media platforms to promote the survey. And the survey is online. It's reverse2050.org/survey. So that's for the second stage. I think we're about 20%-ish there. And I'm saying 20% because I think we can do a lot more. But we have between now and the end of the year to be able to drive this. I think latest in January, we should be wrapping up the survey so that we can begin to put together that data, because the book team needs that data to be able to like do data analysis and everything that would eventually go into the Reverse 2050 book. So we need to like really, really push this side by side with all the things we're doing to get the resources needed for the field surveys. For focus group discussions, I think we've also kicked off really well. So far, we've had a KII and one FGD on healthcare and media. Remember that we have 15 thematic areas to cover. So I think that we're doing well. I think that this is a good start. At the current rate that we are, with what is planned by the focus group committee, I think by November, early December, we should be done if we do 3 FGDs every month. There are already 3 planned for August, and experts have already been engaged as well, which you get to see shortly. The town halls are basically like, we don't have a quota for town halls because we're just doing them as like additions based on what we find as useful to be added to the book. We've had one with the Qatari government. We had reached out to government in Norway as well, because they do have a very like interesting way they've been managing their finances, their crude oil resources. And they have a department of local and regional planning as well that oversees some of that work. So we had reached out to them. The CEO of that group, I think, was on summer break. He promised to get back to us. So once he does, we'll get more information about that and when we'll do that. So we don't have a quota based on who we reach out to. We reached out to folks in Singapore as well, the Singapore government, one of the ministers in charge of planning. As they respond, we can have them added, and that's the information will go on the book. But I don't feel like we need to use that as something to like delay us. It's based on whoever responds to us and are willing to support us. So yeah, so I think with FGGs we're going well. We should be able to reach our targets before the end of the year. With the book writing as well, the book committee is doing an amazing job. Uh, Continuing to work in the back end to put all the information together. I know that the first and second chapters are done, and that work is ongoing for the third chapter. So I think all of that effort, obviously it's not going unnoticed. Towards the end, I also get the subcommittee chairs to speak if they have anything to add. But yeah, work is ongoing towards that. For the launch and advocacy, because I mean, after we finish all of these things, we need to ensure that he is able to. It's not an academic exercise; like it needs to be something that's workable. So we'll be engaging. We have already begun engaging. First of all, we've reached out to all of the former governors and the current governor, written to them officially to inform them of the project, and that we would like to meet with them to engage further. So I think basically being able to pull in all our political. I mean, I'm happy we have many many political political savvy people in the task force who will be able to help us leverage some of these like bottlenecks. But yeah, we have informed them, basically just working with their internal teams to find ways to see if we can get them come for either town hall conversations or physical meetings where we meet with them privately to discuss this further. We're reaching across political lines. We're not, as you know, this is a non-partisan project. So that's already ongoing. And I think starting in September, with His Majesty, whom we're supposed to have like an online conversation with, he's asked for us to meet physically. So starting from September, we should be engaging some of these leaders, and this will be led by the launch committee, because all of these engagements will then build the momentum such that when we announce that we're launching this, vision book, everyone knows about it. It shouldn't be at that time when we should start informing people about it. So we hope this momentum builds up into like Q1 next year, so that when we're launching the book, there's enough like ginger, to be able to build on it. So that's what our tracker looks like. I don't know if Bira, Udokama, and the rest of the team, Joshua, do you guys have anything to add based on what we have so far?
No, no, Eben, you've said a lot. You've said enough as well. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Bira. Udokama, anything? Or Joshua? Okay. If nothing, then we can move on. For the finance report, this was supposed to be given by our finance officer, but he sadly lost his sister within this period. So this is sort of like a difficult time for him. So I've sort of like been stepping in to help him keep all the records and receipts and stuff. And once he's able to get back to his feet, he'll take over work on this. But I think the major update here is that donations have come from individuals. I think the major funding we got from policy shapers kick off the project went straight into designing our project website, because we needed that to be able to like engage and put out information about the project. But we have, as in within policy shapers, there to apply for grants and partnerships with organizations who will be able to support us in cash or kind, to be able to move the project forward. Like I said, the grassroots research being a very major component of that. So that's something that we're seriously working on. But yes, feel free to like donate as a task force. I know Wisdom had shared on the task force group, shared the policy shapers accounts for donations. He will continue to keep like records of how the project finances are used, and of course, at the end of the project, we'll have a full report of how like what money we got, what money we spent, and stuff like that. Apart from the fact that we're doing this for accountability's sake, we're also doing this for like posterity's sake as well. Because I think there are other people who want to do similar projects, and we want to understand so like how much people should like budget for, plan for, what kind of resources they should use. So I think this kind of documentation is very useful in ensuring that we help future projects that will come up in the future. Yeah. So that's how far we are. I think we have around like 30K-ish left in our project accounts. So I think yeah, donations are going to be happily appreciated so that we can begin to like print a lot of those merchandise. I think when you go to see like former governors and stuff, you have to give them something, right? So I think all those things that you have to do, printing stuff and t-shirts and all those merch stuff, I think we need to begin to get them done in run up to September. Okay. So just going into some of the things that happened in June or July. Oh, I see that Lucky is here now. So Lucky, if you're able to speak, we had skipped we had skipped your section earlier, just after the reflection. I don't know if this is a good time. If you're able to speak, we'll be happy to hand over this to you now to share a bit more about the Benue we want and some of the work that you've done around this. And yeah, just like lessons you've learned, challenges we see, just an open discussion session around that before we continue the meeting. So over to you, Lucky.
All right, guys. All right. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you hear
yes.
me?
Yes, we can hear
All
you
right.
loud and clear.
Apologies for joining late. Some technical issues, but yeah, I'm glad to be here. And also thank you for also allowing me to join this conversation and this space as well. And to say that it's always nice learning from people who have done stuff like this. So just to go straight to what we do, the Benue we want actually started as a conversation on Twitter, which was in 2023. And then it started as a result of, I was part of the Nigerian We Want by Nigerian Youth Future Funds and Leap Africa, which I just thought it wise to say, oh, if we were able to do something like the Nigerian We Want, I could bring up people and we could also do the Benue We Want since Benue State in Nigeria. So that was how it all started. It started as just Twitter conversations on several focus topics, things around agriculture. We spoke about technology. We spoke about information and some few conversations like that. But one of the things that was very pertinent was the fact that I really did not want it to just be just a mere conversation because talk is cheap, yeah, and it's always easy for people to just have conversations. But we were deliberate to see how we could pick up and get the points together. Recommendations from people. These people are people from the states and are also thought leaders and people who are doing amazing work in their various sphere of influence in the states. And at the end of the day, we were able to compile them together and we brought about a policy brief uh, for the project. So also, it was also in the previous year, which was last year, that we got funded for by NYFF. So they're actually, so while I actually did this, it wasn't in their notice. So, but I also shared it to them to say, oh, this is what we are able to do. And I just shared it, just personal stuff. Okay, just look at what we did. And in the previous year, they reached out to me and said they want to fund me, and they gave an individual grant of $1,000. So last year, what we were able to use the fund for was to just see how we could. So we actually worked on the policy brief document, which was also a document like the document I made mention of. And but the goal was beyond just having this document printed, was to also serve as for it to serve as an advocacy tool to the state government based on the various ministries that we actually targeted. So we reached out to them and we also shared copies as, okay, these were conversations of young people and this could also serve as a tool to the work you guys do in these various ministries. But I just saw it and I just thought of it that, okay, if I've been able to do this together with the team members, it will also be nice to see how we could push it forward because I so believe that there's more to this and something better can actually come out of this. Because even one of the team members was also having conversation of how we could co-create something like the Benue we want agenda for 2030, for example. Do you understand that kind of thing? But I knew that sometimes ideas, most times, are not really fully formed till you start. But I know for surety that I know that policy shaper does Rivers 2050, and I know Mr. I know Mr. I know Mr. Ebenezar very well, and I know that he does something around the Rivers 2050 something like that. And I just reached out to him, and I said, okay, let me at least reach out to him so that I could pick a cue from what the work that is being done in Rivers State, and see how we could also do something in the Benue with the Benue we want as well, so that it can be improved and also be better. Because at the end of the day, the goal is to see that we achieve the end goal. Because it looks like just a one-off project, but I don't want to see it as that. I want to see it as something that is long-term, that we could also use to engage more critical stakeholders in the state. You understand? So that's actually one of the reasons why I'm on this call, and also want to glean from your wealth of experience and learn from what you guys are doing, and also see how we could inculcate that, and even, yeah, basically. So this is just a short brief of how the whole thing started and how we are here, literally. Mm. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lucky.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Lucky. Really happy to have you on the call. Also, when I told the team as well, people were very enthusiastic about getting to meet you and hear from the work that you've done. So thank you so much for sharing. I
Thank
do I do think that I mean I can be quite sentimental about timing, and I feel like the time that we're in currently as a country, I think that there's an opportunity for young people to sort of like shape the future, So I don't think it's happenstance that we're having conversations around River State and the Rivers
you.
2050 vision, and then there's Benue we want that's started from like 2 years ago, and there's the Imo
Mm.
States conversation happening. I think that there's some kind of sub-national awakening, right? And I feel like this is a good time, this is a good time.
Yeah.
It's a thing that would outlive elections. I think that it's a huge opportunity for us also as young people to also take our place in development and take our place in like leadership. So thanks for the work that you've done. I would open the mic before I do share my thoughts. I open the mic for the team. Anybody who has any like thoughts or questions for Lucky, this is a good time to also share or ask.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Anyone? I'm happy to go first, Lucky. So I also wanted to find out. So after you got the publication done, um, did you were you able to in any way get like, or how in what way did you get the people, sort of like people from Benue State, to get to know more about this? Because I think this is also one of the big questions that we're like trying to figure out. We're building we've said statewide survey as one of the ways that the people can feed back into the book, so that that whatever the 90% of the book should be written by the people, right? It should be people's ideas, thoughts, what's priority areas are and stuff like that. So how are you able to navigate getting people's insights into the book, so that it's not just like a lucky thing? Because I know that you really worked hard to get focus group discussions done and everything. So how were you able to like navigate that? Yeah.
All right. So one of the things we did was to get people who are actually very influential in the states, but beyond just being influential, but are also relevant to the conversation. So let's say, for example, we're having a conversation around agriculture. and I know someone who works in the government, for example, or I know someone who works in the development space, or someone who works around agriculture, I just bring them together. Most of the times, these people are my friends. So I reach out to them. I have easy access to them to get them on board. But beyond them being on board, we also ensure that the conversation goes beyond them. We also pick several other indigenes of the states who also join these Twitter conversations, and we ensure we document them. But we also try to do a publicity around these Twitter spaces too, so that people who are from the state, people who are interested, can also join in the conversation. So with that, it's easy to pick from a professional perspective, from a citizen's perspective. Yeah, I know that we cannot reach out to every Benue indigenes, do you understand? But having these people, because these guys are people who are on board and who are professional in a way, it's also in a way you are saying, it's just like having a group of senators, 109 people talking about people and the issues in Nigeria. So these are actually one of the things that led to the policy brief, literally. Yeah. So basically, that was how we were able to navigate that.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Guys, if you have questions, feel free to drop in the chat. I'll ask one more question before we go back to the meeting agenda. How were you also able to make the policy documents available? Like, did you make it available online and you printed? Or when you printed it, who did you give it to? Like, did you share this to the ministries, for example, and stuff like that? Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, we actually so I compiled it. I and a team member, then also gave it to a designer to actually develop, to make it more colorful and more easy to read as well. Then also after that, I made it open online as well. So there's a platform I use to also track the number of people who had also visited and read through it as well. But beyond that, I also printed copies, which I also shared to ministries also in the state. We met with the commissioner of the state. Like I said, how I was able to get contacts of this, get access to these people, is because sometimes I have people who actually work in some of these ministries. So it was very easy for me to actually access the commissioners, for example. So that was actually the way we were able to do. The plan was to also see how we could bring these people physically also on board together to also have conversations and also improve on it again. But we saw it that it might also not be so needful like that also, but it's just to sit down and also have something more holistic and much more concrete going forward. So yeah, basically that was how we were able to do it. Yeah.
Amazing. No, thank you. Thank you so much, Lucky. Thanks for making our time to join us, and thanks for sharing. I hope you can share a link to the document so that we can also share this in the group for those who want to
Sure,
check it out, because I'm sure many people are keen to check it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for your time. Okay, so going back to I've spoken about the activity tracker and the finances, and just to give you a quick rundown of a few other activities that happened in June and July, especially in July. I think Joshua and I, steering committee member Joshua and I, were at an event organized by one of the task force members, who's doing an amazing job actually bringing together and organizing student leaders across the country, but I think majorly across the tertiary institutions in the States. So at that day, we had, I don't know, maybe 200 plus student leaders from Ignatius Adjuri University, River State University, University of Port Harcourt, faculty leaders, from the, SUG president, secretaries, etc. And it was a good space to talk to them about leadership and the Reverse 2050 vision and why they need to catch the vision, right? I mean, they're the leaders of tomorrow, right? And I hope leaders of today. And so just a good space to basically inspire them around that. So so we'll continue to look for those kind of spaces, because I think that's one of the only ways you can get word out about the project, but also get more people engaged as well. Get people engaged as well as part of the project. So whether it's talking about the survey or stuff like that. So that was one. And then I was invited by Dr. Nimo Basi, the Faculty of Education in Uniport was doing an environment parliament. So he invited me to present a paper on Rivers 2050 vision and how like the academia can contribute to that. So I also had a chance to speak to them there as well and got some people to get on board with the survey. The NDCC supported the Niger Delta Digital Summit. I think this was in June. And I was also invited as a panelist to speak about beyond oil, shaping a digital future. But I also got a chance to, as always, talk about Rivers 2050 and why people should appreciate foresight and why foresight is key to planning. In June and in July actually, we had a key informant interview with the Commissioner for Health, talking about healthcare in 2050. That was a very interesting conversation because she had a lot of depths. And yeah, and she was she's a Rivers person, just like most of us on this call. And yeah, and it was just key to see how passionate she was about fighting for healthcare in the States. Last Saturday, we also spoke to the CEO of the NESG. We're really honored to have him, Dr. Tayo, come share how Rivers 2050 can, align with the national agenda, and how the vision project could be like a starting point of a subnational movement. So it was really great to have him. So these conversations are on YouTube. So I think one of the things that we can also do to increase publicity about the project is to keep sharing these things online. So please check out the YouTube, youtube.com/policy shapers. And you'll be able to find all the information. There's a whole playlist of Rivers 2050 vision stuff. So please go ahead and share these as well. We held the media and entertainment focus group. That was the first focus group as part of the focus group series. So congratulations to the focus group committee. I know you've been itching for a long time to be able to launch your activities as we have started like with survey and all the other things going on. So well done. And I think I must say that it's people might not understand how tough it is to be able to get busy people to agree around a certain time, right? how calendars and schedules are all complicated, and I think that the amazing work that Bira, Sanite, and the rest of the group, Oyi and Co have done is really, really like inspiring. So please, I hope you keep doing the amazing work so that we can wrap up our FGDs hopefully before the end of the year. So we had this conversation. I thought it was a very good start. We struggled with time because I think we had 8 people, but it was good that we had the speakers stay. I mean, aside from some internet issues that we had, most of the speakers were able to stay on up until the end, which means that they, liked the conversation. And I think Bira did a good job as well to be able to like manage that and manage the conversation on that day. Okay, so that's what's happened in June and July. Let's spend the next few minutes talking about August. If you have any thoughts or questions on or insights into like some of the things that happened in June and July, share that in the chat so I can read it. But I'll move on to August now because I think I want us to talk a bit about what we'll do in August and then take questions in the open mic before we close. So August starts out started with today with a task force meeting clearly, but also next week Saturday. So in October, TEDx Port Harcourt will be one of the 19 TEDx events that have been selected by Global TED to host like what they call countdown anchor events. So countdown is TED's climate-related event, which is done around the world. I think they did one in Nairobi this year. There'll be a conversation in New York or in DC, I think, at some point towards the end of the year. And Port Harcourt is one of the 19 cities that were selected to host these conversations. So in the run-up to those conversations, they're having like this, what's called open community conversations. I'll be speaking at the TEDx event in October, but also these community conversations are also a chance to begin to like get people excited about what will be coming. So if you are free next week, Saturday, around 12 noon at Tontex Gardens. Tontex Gardens is on Stadium Road. Please do well to join us for the community creation event. I would, of course, obviously be talking about the survey and finding ways to get people to, fill the survey there at the event. But please come around so that I can also have you as part of the conversation as well. It'll be great to do this along with other people from the project. Still on that same day, so this is around 12 noon-ish. I think it runs from like 12 to 3. At 4 p.m., we'll be having our sports focus group discussion. We have confirmed the sports experts. These guys are legends. They've been working in the sports space, even for like, I don't know, like 15 years or something, right? You have people like Sammy Wejina, Mr. Carl Orakwe, Mr. China Achebe. These are people who have worked in the local leagues and supported like local sports development for a very long time. So please, let's do well to attend to be at 4 p.m. Once we confirm all of the logistics and posters, all of that to be shared this coming week. So let's do well to attend and also invite others to come, especially those who are sports inclined as well, because I think that sports is such a huge sector. And initially we had planned to do media, entertainment, and sports as one conversation. But when we, thought about it and we said, it doesn't make any sense because sports is really huge. And River State is famous for having a lot of sports talents, whether you're looking at the current national team, you're talking about Joseph Yobo, or even the current goalkeeper, or like so many people that come from the States, right? Across men and women's football, basketball, etc. So I think that sports is huge. And I think we need to, as a state, think of how we can leverage that sector. And I think this is a very key conversation. So that's happening next week, 4 p.m. Next Saturday. On Wednesday is Port Harcourt's Wednesday, August 13th, is Port Harcourt's 112th anniversary. And you remember that we also commemorated River State's 58th anniversary by doing a set of like social media activities. The steering committee had discussed this Port Harcourt anniversary coming soon, and we decided to do like a social media story campaign to share about the evolution of Port Harcourt City from when it was created to where it is now, and also use the chance to share some stories about like great people, great names who had come from the city, and draw people towards the survey as well. Sort of like contribute to the future of Port Harcourt, blah, 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 fill the survey and stuff like that. So that's the idea we have currently. It's going to be virtual. We don't currently plan to do a conversation, but if during the open mic session, if you feel like we should do a conversation, I don't know if it's Instagram or something, feel free to let us know. Anybody that's willing to volunteer to host something, let us know how we can think and work around that. I think the most publicity we can get, the better, so that we can bring as much attention to the work that we're doing. But for now, this is what the steering committee had decided as to how we'll commemorate the 112th anniversary. I'm not sure what the state's administrator and the team are planning. August also is quite a dicey month because of changing office, I guess. So I feel the state might be quiet on it. So I think we as a group need to not be quiet about it. So that's August 13th. That's a Wednesday. The Saturday of that week, which is 2 weeks time, we're going to have culture and tourism focus group discussion, which will bring people like Ivo Koko, Tengo Dokorisha, folks who are working within the culture and tourism space, who are trying to like archive our futures, our past, and prepare for our future, basically, and how we can use tourism as a major sector to divest into and diversify our economy into as a state. So yes, again, do well to attend. For those who have like restaurateurs and hoteliers and stuff like that, folks who you think will be useful to join the conversation, let them join. Because the thing with focus group discussions is it's not just the speakers who are special. Even those who are attending also should be also have like key ideas and concepts around the topic so that they can ask the important questions. And all of this is going to go into the book as well. So I think the more the merrier in this particular instance. So that's Saturday 16th. Saturday 23rd, that's the Saturday after that, we'll be holding the tech and innovation focus group discussion. Again, this is another sector where River State has a whole lot of talent that has been exported to Lagos and Abuja and all of those countries and states around the world that I think we can really, really leverage. So I think that this is something that we should definitely. Oh, I see Lucky has shared the link. Thanks, Lucky. This is noted. So those who want to check out the policy brief, do well to check it out. We'll share this in the WhatsApp group as well. So so please do well to attend. Letters have gone out to the experts, and some of them are already confirmed. We'll have folks joining, and then we'll share the posters in due course once we get all of the confirmations in. So please do well to attend and also publicize this once the links are out. We had initially supposed to discuss with His Excellency Sir Dr. Peter Odili, I think in June, right? So June 21st initially. But then he was out of the country for quite a while, had some personal stuff and all that, so we couldn't have that conversation. But we had rekindled that engagement again, and I think that is important to have a conversation with him as one of the state leaders. While, especially as we're launching all those engagements in September. So yeah, so we're currently waiting for his team to confirm around dates and sort of like the workability of things. But currently is tentatively scheduled for August 30. So we'll let you know once we confirm that and what the mode would be if we're physically engaging or if he's going to be able to join us on Zoom for that discussion. So that's what is planned currently. So you notice that most of August is focused on our focus group discussions because we need to get as many as possible out of the way. We have, for the open mic, we have 3 focus group discussions: sports next Saturday, culture and tourism Saturday after that, and tech and innovation Saturday after that. So that's 6, that's 9, 16, and 23rd. So let's do well to make sure we attend and support. And I think we'll do the open mic session now just to hear thoughts, questions about the plans for August, and also ideas around Port Harcourt's anniversary too. Because I know that social media campaign is cool, but if there are other things that we can do, please please share. Because I think that we should find as much as possible to do to bring attention not just to the city but also to the projects as well that we're working on. Okay, folks. So open mic, I will go off. I've been talking and dabbling for the past few minutes. I'll go off mic now. And if you have ideas, questions, thoughts, please feel free to share before we wrap up.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you. Hi, Joshua. Good evening.
All right. Yeah. Good evening. Okay. I wanted to I kind of wasn't paying attention at some point. I got busy, but I want to find out. So commemorating Rivers State this month. What other activities we have planned? I know we suggested honoring legends in Rivers State. Is there any other activity we have planned for it?
Yeah, I think Joshua's question is rhetorical to all of us as well. So so within the steering committee, which Joshua is part of, we had discussed this and discussed the social media campaign. But anyone who has any other ideas, please feel free to share. Because this is what we have for now.
Okay. I don't think there's any this thing. Okay, so about social media campaign.
I think someone has raised their hand.
Someone speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. You can go ahead and speak.
Hi everyone, good evening. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, so first of all, I want to thank the policy shapers for this great vision. I mean, when Ebenezar came to Uniport and I heard him speak about this, that was the first time I heard about the Vision 2050. And the first thing that came to mind was how old would I be in 2050? And I just did my calculation now. And I'll probably be, almost in my 50s. So, I mean, it's also a great vision for me to actually key into because I will not be that old, holding walking stick. So why not? So thank you so much, policy shapers. I really don't have anything to say, but sometimes, you have to be in the room of people who are, policy shapers to really understand how all this kind of things goes. Because someone like me, I've been in that shadow of, wanting to do everything by force, like an activist, you just want to them all these people that have been in power for a long time and then just go ahead and imagine a future that the marginalized people, the citizens can just be the people that are responsible to, shape policies and just implement them as they go. But I've come to understand that negotiation is very, very important. Recognizing the powers that have been in place is also very important. So, nice work. I just want to say thank you for all that you have done, and I see that this community has great plans. I mean, I could see everything just running in place. I mean, look at the plan for August already. With my life now, I've not even planned August, and this is already the 4th of August or the 3rd of August. But I really want to say thank you, and thank you for having me on this task force committee. If it's a committee, I don't know what to even call it. So I want to also say that I will be very useful because I'm very good with social media. So I think that I can come in terms of social media campaigns. So please just let me know in any way I can assist and lend my skill and my talent to making this vision come to reality. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Perfect. And thanks for I know during the conversation you had said that you wanted to be part of this after the event in Uniport, and you followed up to ensure that this happened. So thank you so much for doing this and for getting on. Yes. So the I know for most people, most of the words that we use might be strange, like task force, subcommittee, steering committee, all of these things throwing around. But don't worry, over time you're going to get used to it. The task force is basically the team that is team of volunteers who are running the project, right? And the steering committee is leading the task force. Steering committee is made up of the people who are leading all the various units, like book writing, people who are leading surveys and stuff like that, launch and all that. All the information on this is on the website as well. So please do also check out the website, rivers2050.org. If you go to the About section, you'll see everything about the project and how the Policy Shapers team also supports the project. Thank you. Thanks so much. Perfect. And yes, definitely. I think especially for this project, the one for the Port Harcourt anniversary, I think we should definitely think of something that we can do social media. Maybe would add you once we finish designing the templates for the stories we want to put out, so that you can also critique and give your thoughts and ideas on how to make it interesting. Okay. Any other thoughts or questions or comments? Joshua, you were saying something before Perfect came on. So do you want to wrap up what you were saying?
Yes. Aside the media conversation, I was thinking maybe a radio tour, 1 or 2 radio stations for to commemorate Port Harcourt anniversary. I don't know if there's somebody you could reach out to. So it's outside the social media campaign. We can also,
we should do radio as well. Yeah.
Yes, if it's 2 or 3 radio stations.
Okay, I think that's a good idea, and I think we also did radio during Rivers at 58. So I think that's something that we should pitch, and I think this time it shouldn't just be me. I think if we can get as 2, 3 of us to be able to go on, I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
Based on what's available. So definitely we would reach out to pitch to Nigeria Info and some of the media partners who have supported us so far. Let's see if we can get some time to discuss this on air.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Hi, Sanite. Good evening.
Yeah, so I was looking at please, can I go back to the slide where it talks about the percentage of people that completed the what's it called again? The survey.
This
20%.
this slide.
236. We need how many thousand? 70,000, is it?
Yeah, so I mean we had moved our targets back and forth. We said 70K at the beginning, then we said 50K people. We had also seen that based on the bids that we had received from the survey company, they had said they can do 2,000 plus people in the grassroots survey. So yeah, so I think I'm open to as many as possible, but we shouldn't be doing anything less than 2,000 to 5,000 within that range. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, how about a proper ad campaign or something on social media
Okay.
targeting Rivers State, Rivers groups, and basically that could boost the participation and the feeling of the survey.
Mm-hmm. By ad, you mean like boosting posts, right? Like on Facebook, Instagram, and stuff, right?
Yes. I think perfect.
I think that's a good idea. We haven't explored that yet. What do you think?
Yeah,
Go on.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
Perfect is that her name, the lady that I just spoke.
Yes, perfect.
She said she's great at social media. She could have, I don't know, I'd like to hear what she has to say on this.
What do you think, perfect, about the idea to like pay to boost the survey? Have you worked on any projects like that in the past? Do you think like an advert for a survey would fly? What do you think?
Yeah, so I don't know about surveys, but I know I actually do a lot of promotion for unchange.org and
Like
normal
petitions, right?
videos. But
Okay.
when it comes to survey, I don't really know about that. But maybe you could
Okay.
just make a post about it, put a link, and then we'll see if we can be able to promote it. I don't know. I'll make my findings and then get back to you.
Okay, sure. Please, once you make your findings, do also share them in the group. Let's see. Let's see what it's like. But yeah, I think it's a good thing to try out. As anything, I feel it's a good idea. Let's just test out and see. We have some
I think
so
also
let's book
there's
and
a
see. Yeah, go on.
people
Sorry,
are
go on.
not people don't pay attention to stuff generally. Okay, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. All right. People who don't really pay attention to stuff they're not really emotionally invested or connected in. So I think we need to find a way to I'm not sure how it's going to be done online, but we should find a way to connect with people emotionally about the state and how it's important that their voices are heard via this through the survey. So if we can get, because I don't know, generally the Rivers State, we always talk about Rivers State being a state that is interested in politics and all, but I think a lot of the young persons, they're not really interested in this kind of thing. It's just the immediate fix that they're focused on and basically entertainment. So if we can find a way that an angle that makes them more emotionally engaged with the project, then they'll be more willing and it'll be more easy for them to go ahead and fill the form.
I think so too. And I feel maybe that's also something that we might need to sit down a bit more and plan for especially for the survey folks like Coffee and the rest of them in the survey committee.
Yes.
I know they had broad ideas on how perhaps we should also engage churches, because like church is also a space where people have a lot of trust. So if you have certain like spiritual leaders talk about the project and talk about the survey, I mean, it's not a political thing, just to say like, hey, this is a thing for you to add your voice. People might be willing to do that more because there's more like trust in that kind of space. So yeah, so I think those are things that we should definitely explore.
Yeah, so also while we're also doing that, we can also find a way to work with the PH influencers online, because those guys are the ones that really have that can get to the PH audience quicker.
Yeah. Like Port Harcourt Special and the rest of them, right? Yeah.
Yes, all of them. Yeah, Port Harcourt specials, PH and pictures, whatever they are, all of them. Just
Amazing. Okay, cool,
so,
cool. I think this is
okay. Even if they can be, they can even have like a what they call a key informant listing of influencers, something. How they come into the picture, something that makes them feel relevant in the whole process, and they'll be able to go ahead and push from their own end. So
okay.
I think maybe something to be considered.
I think that's a good point. I won't say maybe it was an oversight for us to not think of involving some of them during the media conversation, because I think media was really stretched. Like we had a lot of experts, so I think we got like swamped and overwhelmed. But I think I feel maybe some sort of engagement with the digital media community will be a good idea as well.
Yeah. Okay. So let's call it digital media.
Yeah. Amazing. All right, thanks. Thank you so much, Asamiti. I can see Udo's hand. Anybody else wants to speak, please raise your hand so we can make our time for it so that we can wrap up. I see we're already at the hour. So over to you, Udo.
Okay, hi, good evening, everyone. No, just to add my voice to what every other person has spoken about in terms of our engagement on social media. I think that's like they say, charity begins at home. That this is really just to encourage everyone to take this personal, because I don't think that at this phase, I mean, where we're at on the project, we are doing enough as individuals to promote this. I mean, I once in a while I see some of, I mean, I don't have the back end analytics or anything like that, but this thing is something that you can always see on each of the platforms that Eben also tries to share most of the infographics or whatever content it is around this, and you see like some pretty low engagement, and it breaks my heart all the time when I see it. But I'd just like to encourage everyone, if at the end of this, every time when contents are being shared, we have 100+ people on the task force, it's easy for everybody to see what's going on, right? So 100+ people, you actively engage on the content, it makes a lot more sense, because all of us have our individual network that could see and could also reshare. You just never know. I'm speaking from personal experience, because for most of my projects within Nigeria, outside Nigeria as well, something that I drive all the time is having like the key people actively engage in whatever it is that we're doing, and that's how we get to build a community. All right, so one person shares to their own network, other people within their network sees it and also shares as well, and so everybody now gets to see, or most people now get to see what is going on, and want to be part of it. So again, just as an encouragement to everyone to take this as personal. I mean, if it matters to you that much that you're on the task force and trying to commit to it and do the best that you can for the states, I think that you should also put in a word out that other people within your own network can see as well, and take part of it. We're talking about getting people emotionally connected, but then if you don't share it, how do people even see it, even get connected to it? So everyone, I think that we need to do better than what we're doing right now. Please reshare. You don't need anyone to actually beg you to share something that you are involved in. So again, if this matters to you this much, that you're able to contribute, what you can, the least you could do is to share content when they're being circulated.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Udo, for that charge. Yeah, thanks, guys. Let us do well to share. I know that a few new people had joined the task force, so what I'll do is to reshare the links for the various subcommittees again in the WhatsApp group. Just to specify that the people who have the power, because as part of this project, one of the things we're going to do to leave a marker for posterity is that we're going to have a honor roll as part of the first initial sections of the book. people who have the power to fill that honor role are the subcommittee heads, which are the steering committee members, right? People like Udo, Joshua, based on those who are working in their committees. Because like in the big group, we can't really tell who's doing what, right? Just as Udo was just saying now. So please let's work within our committees. That's where the work is. That's where the efforts need to be made. So please join at least one of the committees, or at most one of the committees, because we don't want you to be stretched out. So please find one of the committees to join out. Share the link in the chat for you to do that, in the WhatsApp group, sorry, for you to do that. But yeah, thanks for your time. Thank you so much, everyone. As Udo said, this matters so much to us that we're doing this. There's no way we could have been able to do this on our own as policy shapers, or even as me as an individual, right? Because it's not even possible. That way it just becomes like a book that the person has written. But this is the only way that this project can be done. And I'm encouraged by the fact that you guys are happy to do this, come on this journey together with us at Policy Shapers. I hope that we can push this through to the very end. I believe that, like I said, as we heard from Lucky during the call, I believe that it's not happenstance that all of these things are coming up. Like there's Benue we want, there's Imo Vision, there's Rivers Vision, there's Kaduna something. All of these things are going to come together and form a huge avalanche. Before an avalanche forms, it's a small snowball that begins to roll slowly. So I think that we are at a very critical moment. I hope that we take good advantage of this moment and continue to push and play our own parts to help birth the kind of country and the kind of states that we want to see. So thanks for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. The recording for the call will be shared in the WhatsApp group. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.